Yeah, I'm IP banned too. Yeah. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I heard. Uh, no. Uh, Oh, I'm cheered up. I'm just ready to. I'm just ready to spew some venom. Hey, I'm gonna let you go, okay? Alright. Okay. Love you too. Bye. Anthony is a coward, so he banned me from the shout box because he says I'm mental, and so he's suddenly scared of what I may say, I guess. So I thought I would broadcast since he banned me from the shout box. Dare silence me. Oops. And I'm gonna ban someone. It's me that did it. Bubble, if you know of any other names that Anthony has, ban them. I'm not sad. And just go ahead and ban all these idiots who say it's okay, baby, or whatever. Just ban them, because I'm not even going to play games today. Or anytime. Anthony is a coward. He banned me from the JTV shout box because he says I'm mental and obviously I'm harassing him. So he banned me from the shout box even though I didn't do anything. So I've been in there for 2 days being silent on purpose, and come to find out that Wheek is banned, and so is the IP. The IP address is banned as well. And I know it was Anthony because it was just 2 days ago Anthony blocked me from Skype because I was being mental. So, then he started going off and telling other people that I'm mental and so on. And apparently that's what he said in the shout box too. So I figured he would ban me, but I figured being banned that I would not be able to see the shout box. So I had no clue. I would have been all pumped up right away as soon as it happened if I knew, but I didn't know. In fact, I could type and it wouldn't even show that I was banned. So I'll just broadcast and say, dare silence me. Oh, I did, I was forgetting him just great, but, I'm not the type, I'm not going to be like another girl who just goes off and disappears and, you never hear from them again. No way. That's not how I'm going to be, because I didn't screw him. I didn't suck his cock, and I'm proud of it. Mental or not, I'm proud of it, that I never sucked his cock, and I won't disappear like all the others. And I won't be compared to all the others because I didn't do it. So whatever I could say in the shout box, I can just say in a broadcast instead for 51 viewers to see and hear. So, fuck off. Well, don't fuck off, because, kiss somebody else's ass. No, I'm not going to drink. I had a Red Bull. And I'm shaking because I'm all pumped up. I was just going to go and be quiet and, you know, deal with the fact that it ended the way it did. And, you know, yeah, Anthony says she's bipolar and everything. I'm glad that he's able to diagnose, seeing how he's a genius and everything. He knows everything. He's always thought I was bipolar, but, you know, after 2 years of chats with him on Skype, and he still doesn't see that I'm not bipolar. It's got depression and other problems. I didn't move out, so, you know, I wasn't really necessarily easy to get to because I live here. So I assume that's why he wanted me to move out so much. And so I'm not going to move out for the purpose of fucking him. I'm going to move out whenever I feel like it. And it's not going to be for any other reason. So, yeah, I'm mad. I'm real mad. Anthony can he probably has some diseases by now. So I'm just really glad, really glad that I did not ever meet him. But he sure had me fooled, you know, with that Randall voice. You can basically fool any vulnerable girl. You can do anything. And then whenever you dare say bye-bye or whatever, you know, when you question him, or he decides that he's no longer interested and eventually blocks you or whatever, he usually will get the last word. But no matter how stupid I make myself look right now, I'm not going to go down in silence. No, he's not a husband or boyfriend. He's a male version of a slut. Whatever you call them. He's cold-hearted, I just cannot believe, like, how trustworthy he seems, but he's not. It's amazing how he can fool people. It's amazing. But that's why I'm banned. It's because of, because Anthony, he wants to silence me. He's scared. Yeah. I'm talking about Telemarketer Torture. The person on the scam baiter who does all this scam baiting stuff. Yeah, I'm talking about him. See, he led me to believe that girls pay him to suck his cock. I have proof to back this up, too. No, he's not married. At least I don't think he is. Where was I? Oh, yeah. He leads, these girls to believe that people pay him to suck his cock. And so for 2 years I've been waiting for him to do this, and then he says this about paying, and so I was like, by all this time I was ever so willing to pay, because I was tired of waiting and just everything. And so I said, how much does it cost to fly to Georgia? And he said about $500. So I saved up my money, and I got pissed off by the time I had enough money that he acted like an arrogant jerk. So I spent my money on a camera instead. And so he started saying how I should move out and find my own apartment. And, I started looking and everything and couldn't find anything. And then I started to think, he really seems to be like every time he would say something, he would say, any good news, as if that was gonna, I don't know exactly what he had in mind, but I was looking for a place, and it's not easy to find a place. So crap. I took my I took the medicine, epilepsy medicine, and now it's calming me down. Fuck. Yeah, he's so belittling to people. Oh yeah, I remember. He allowed me to believe that I would pay money for him to come to Georgia. So, when the time came, he had this new job, and so he was busy all the time. And so whenever I would chat with him, he would say that he's live, so I would take that to mean shut up. So I would be like, fine. So I started broadcasting again, and I started to realize that he's a jerk. That's all he is just a jerk. And I was trying to figure out where it went wrong or where it was right. Then finally, a couple of days ago, I just pasted a chat that he started out on Skype with me, with this, having me believe this bullshit that he would come to Georgia, and he says this to all kinds of people on JTV everywhere. So I'm sure a lot of people know what I'm talking about. Well, I actually befriended him, and I really, I'm the type of person who, whenever I make friends with somebody, I am really, really deep friends. Well, that's how it was for me. But he suddenly lost interest, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And I noticed him, asking other people how to explain how they would suck his cock. And so I was like, okay. In private, he was basically ignoring me. So, and then right before my eyes, he's doing this with someone else. And so I complained to him and said, do you like it when girls get jealous over you? And he's like, oh, it doesn't matter either way to me. makes no difference or whatever. And I mentioned this a couple of times about, how whenever I first met Anthony, he used to always say, how Kel has her husband and her boyfriend a dildo and a vibrator or whatever, and he would always have that a comeback for that, and he would always explain that when people brought that up. But whenever people do that now, he never clarifies anything. So it's like where is your mind in all this? And so he said, it's the internet. You gotta take it at face value or whatever. That it's not. I mean, it's real people, but it's just the internet. And so the 2 years I had been waiting and doing all kinds of things that I never would have done, all in expecting that he would fulfill this promise or whatever. And he ended up saying at one point that I was very much like Kel, that I get attached, and that I would get really depressed after he left because it'll be a one-time thing, and that's how he is with girls, making it a one-time thing. And so I was like, well, shit, if it's just going to be a one-time thing, I would rather just always look forward to it and just never really go anywhere. But I still wanted to be friends, but he had moved on to someone else, flirting with them and all that. So I decided, since he didn't give a damn about what I thought, and he didn't seem to care, the internet is just a bunch of trolls to him, I guess. I decided to warn someone who seemed to like him the same way that I did. Have actual human feelings as a friend or whatever. So I basically said what Anthony told me, what he used to say in public, and Anthony got all upset about that and wouldn't talk to me anymore, except sarcasm and stuff like that. And so eventually he got around to saying that people change, and I was like, yeah, people change and stuff. And so I removed him from Skype, and he was off of my Skype for about 2 weeks. And so I don't know what made me add him back. I think it was probably this, I thought that he was still may be a friend. Wasn't really sure. That's all that mattered to me, was the friendship. I mean, to be honest, it really was all that mattered when it came right down to it. So I added him back, and would say something like something so meaningless, like what the weather was like here or something, and he didn't say a word, nothing. And then the next day it was the same way. And the next day I logged into my old Skype, copied the text that he sent to me from a couple of years ago about how he wanted me to promise that I would suck his cock, slap it, and all that stuff, the way he talks. And I was like, I don't believe that you really mean that you'll do this, you know. I was hesitant because well, by then my heart had been broken over and over again. And he said, "Don't worry, Jamie, no, you can say anything you want, I understand, totally," you know. And then all this bullshit, and I said, "I promise," and he said, "Yay." And so I pasted that portion of the chat, and he actually finally replied on Skype, and he said, "Things change, you changed, leave me alone, stop, leave me alone, I don't feel that way, I'm not," and a bunch of typos. Some of them I couldn't even understand the word he meant to say, but he was like, "You're mental, leave me alone, bye." And I typed LOL because Anthony, can you imagine Anthony scared? He's so full of shit. And so he blocked me on Skype, both names. I noticed he popped up in the shout box, and I just knew he was telling other people exactly what he told me. And so apparently that's what he was doing, and that's what happened. And so I'm banned from the shout box, and it was TT, Anthony, who did it. And I know Mr. Mack wouldn't ban me when I asked him to. So it wasn't Mr. Mack, it was Anthony. And I imagine he did this to Kel. He probably silenced her beyond belief. Probably did that to so many other girls who, even in the scam baiter forums, he would refer to me as a scam baiter at times, as if that would explain, like, instead of a friend who's a scam baiter. But even in the forums, there's people women who just disappear, never come back. And I'm like, I want to be banned. I want to be deleted. I don't want to be another silenced username. And of course, I'm not banned yet. I'm tempted to do something that I know would get me banned, but it's just temptation right now. But I came back and just opened up the shout box, and for 2 days I didn't say anything. On purpose, I didn't say anything. I was just reading, and I had no clue I was banned. And someone popped up on Skype and said, "Are you banned from the shout box?" And I was like, "Why do you ask?" And they said, "Well, they said in the shout box that you were banned, like last night and then today." So I opened up that tab and decided to, type in something, and it showed up for me. And I waited, and so nobody responded to what I said. So I was like, "Can you see what I said?" And they said no. So it was very much like JTV when you get a global ban from talking anywhere. You type and you don't really know that you're banned usually. But that's what happened. I typed in there and it showed up for me. And apparently Haskell's been banned too. But I'm not going to be silenced. And I wasn't ever planning on broadcasting anything. I was, I was gonna leave in silence, and just not mention Anthony again. But the fact that I was banned, and people have said before how I was stalking Mack or whatever. I always wondered who told Mack that I would do such thing. I believe Anthony would do that now. But he finally told me, after all this time, after me pushing, he finally told me what he really thought whenever he blocked me from Skype. But, I got pissed off. I'm banned from the shout box, so I'll just broadcast on JTV and say exactly what I think. And that anybody who falls for Anthony's lies, well, they don't seem like lies, Like when if you have someone like Randall talking to you, well, not necessarily the gay talk, but he knows how to talk. He knows how to play, and he also knows how to do computer stuff and fuck everything up. And he's beyond a player. He's cold. He's what they call, he's very much like a sweetheart scammer. It's hard for me to be a sweetheart scam baiter and not see Anthony in this, because he's so much like that. But of course it's going to be that way because he runs the site. Everything he does is a lie. But the scam baiter, it's all good stuff. It's just he's not. So anybody on JTV knows, well, like, Kel was like the biggest mouth of JTV. She was, I couldn't stand to listen to her because she's so graphic in the way she talks, and I don't like her. But all of a sudden she shuts up. That's really odd. Probably because of I'm not sure exactly what it was, but I assume it was something that got out where she paid him, and he bragged about that to me, about girls paying to suck his cock. And I have proof of that. Yeah, I did. I totally fell for Anthony. I totally fell for it. Totally. In fact, I even got to the point where I believed this idea that, he was someday gonna come to Georgia, and, I basically lowered myself. I would never do something like this. I had to deal with my conscience once I promised. And so I was waiting and waiting, and it just seemed like a long time, and I was starting to get depressed and everything because I focused everything on this one promise, which is not a good idea. And so I got really suicidal. And whenever I was extremely suicidal, of course I was broadcasting whenever I was this way. I was crying my eyes out on another channel. It was over that. And whenever he went to the UK and he got all bitchy about something, I asked him a question, and I said, can I ask you a question and you not say anything to anybody? And he said, sure. So I asked him this question. He freaked, and then he went into and told me and someone else not to talk about him or whatever. And so he basically just broke that promise right there. So I didn't trust him anymore. But these people I had reached out to, because he's not one to go to whenever you're suicidal, because he says you're full of shit when you're suicidal. And so it's like he's daring you to do something. And so that's what he calls bipolar. If I had killed myself, everything on my computer would be available for Dave to discover. And should that have happened, Anthony would not be too happy. And should this happen to any other girl, and they actually kill themselves, and their angry parents find out, or an angry friend finds out and sees what all the lies that were told, they would probably seek to go after Anthony for doing this. And a person who's lost their loved one to suicide, it may not be rational what reaction he would find. So if he really cares, which he doesn't, he has this, what he calls a character flaw, and it suddenly shows up after you have a breakdown or whatever. And he says that he has no fear. He doesn't get mad about anything. He doesn't ever get mad. He doesn't ever get upset. And so that's supposedly a character flaw. It just sounds like the typical Nigerian scammer type language, except they are a little more consistent with it than he is. I'm sure he's probably got many girls to keep up with the lying. He accidentally sent me a message that was meant for some other girl, because he doesn't call me baby. And he accidentally sent me this message on Skype at 2-something in the morning, and I woke up the next morning and I read that and laughed, because it said, okay, bye baby, and then with these hearts, and Anthony, he always used the JTV code for hearts whenever he did this on Skype. He always did this. He did that, in the shout box. This Jim uses this code. That's the code that Anthony would always use in Skype. Well, he didn't use that code in this message at 2 a.m. He used a different one that showed up as a real heart, and it said, "Okay, baby," and then the red heart, "Miss you," and I knew that wasn't to me, because by this time he was totally off of. Yeah, it just shows up as a different code though whenever you type it on Skype. But he would never show the actual heart for, in a chat with me. But he accidentally sent me this, and so the next morning I discovered this, and I laughed about it. And I went fishing, and I sent him a text message, to his Google voice type thing, and said, that I'm gone fishing or whatever, and said something like "baby," LOL, and I came back from fishing, and then that's whenever I typed on Skype, I was like, "So what's that up above?" And he said, "Well, you called me baby, so I called you baby back." And then he was like, "I don't know what's wrong with the timestamp." Then he was so full of just lies and excuses that it was just, after he dug himself in the deepest shithole, I ended up changing the subject, so he, because if I were him, I would be feeling really stupid. So I changed the subject and off onto something strange. And anyway, whoever baby is, I'm sorry, but I got that message instead. And it was meant for somebody else. I have no clue who, but there's, probably one of the new people he's trying to fool. I don't think he knows the difference between real scam bait and then just real people who are not. Yeah, I'm hurt, but I'm not gonna be silenced. I'm not gonna be afraid to say anything anymore, especially when he goes and bans me from a shout box where I haven't said anything. I've got nothing but proof that would. I've got 2 years of proof, and I've backed it all up. And I don't have the extra hard drive plugged in. It's unplugged. He's a computer geek. He knows how to fuck things up. So, it's not plugged in. And he's pissing me off. And he will not silence me. Yeah, I trusted him with everything. I'm sure a lot of people have. Passwords galore. It's pretty, it's pretty crazy. He led me to believe that he used to work for what do you call it? It's these perverted justice. He led me to believe that he hacked into their emails of these pedophiles before they would go on TV, just to make sure that they wouldn't get to make sure that they were really pedophiles. So he hacked into their email just to avoid, well, he said this. He led me to believe this. I thought that part was true. So I disregarded all the other bullshit that he said, you know, because there was something good about him. But it turns out even that is not true, and that what was good is not him, it was the others. And he lied. So, I have no respect for him. And obviously he must have feared something I was gonna say if he had me IP banned and stuff like that. Now I've been referred to as a mack stalker, and you know, even though Anthony said it didn't matter what they thought in the shout box, I was like, it bothers me that they think this of me, because I'm not stalking Mr. Mack. I don't have any desire to do that. It's a big misunderstanding. And so Anthony was like, just drop it, don't worry about it. And I'm like, well, Mack and I were on talking terms. Then all of a sudden there's this really strange thing happen, and I'm gonna fix it. So I broadcasted, and I wanted to clarify that, you know, I have no hatred or anything, trying to explain whatever might have been said. Well, I'm sure by now that Anthony's probably said everything like that and more about me, and how I act towards Anthony. But Anthony is all safe now because he's blocked me from Skype, so I can't harass him anymore. And then of course he's got the power in the shout box to, if he's IP banned from JTV, that's oh so good, because he's a perv. He's worse than the others, because he really fools people with his smooth talk. But I wouldn't believe it. I mean, I wouldn't believe that he's not openly gay, if that's the word you're talking about. He's just that's Randall. Well, a perv who allows someone to believe that, you know, I wouldn't, no, I don't think he's a schizophrenic. I think he knows everything. He knows exactly what he's doing. The funny thing, though, even if I had bipolar depression, I still have nothing but proof to back up everything I say. And if the proof, you can read it for yourself. Well, I'm not gonna like share that, but I was just saying, even in spite of what people say about me, if they read all the proof, they'll see what I say is true. And yeah, I have depression. I'm not bipolar, and I know that Anthony likes to sound educated or whatever, but he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. In fact, I would be surprised if he ever even paid attention to anything ever said. I'm not reading more things into anything. I know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to Anthony. I've tried so many times to make myself think that maybe I'm reading more into it, but over and over I did this until it's I have enough on him to where if he starts fucking things up, I can just hand over my computers to law people and say, here you go. And they'll see all I did. They'll see everything else too. They'll see everything. But you know, I used to consider him a friend, and you know, he obviously does not think of me this way. I think what he's doing is breaking the law, but I'm not sure yet. I'm still heartbroken, not thinking extremely clearly, but I swear, if he fucks things up, you know, yeah, I know, the internet, yeah, it is. But I'm fired up and everything. I lowered myself beyond belief for his cock of all things. And then when he decided he just wasn't interested anymore, he didn't consider anything like the fact that I made promises. And then I mentioned it one time to somebody about him making promises, and that if your heart is in it, you're gonna get screwed, because you have to be a slut like him without any soul in order to get anywhere. And I'm not calling people who have gotten anywhere a slut, 'cause just imagine if he came to Georgia, I would probably have AIDS. There's no telling. At this point, I'm just talking shit, you know. When normally I would just respect him, But obviously he's wanting to silence me in a place where I would never say anything. And when I do move out, it won't be for Anthony, and it won't be, oh, and I sent that picture to Haskell. I sent that to him because that picture shows that I see Haskell as less dirty than Anthony. I felt safer sending the picture that Haskell posted in there. That picture, I felt safer sending that picture to him than. Why you keep posting this particular link? It's probably one where I'm sitting here. Oh. If anything, post the ones where he is talking about his cock and lying to people, how he likes oral sex and everything in great detail, and also how Kel is top mod. But that was, of course, top mod before she screwed him. Then he moved on to other people like me, for one. And I have no compassion for him. And he will not silence me. See, this. I'll post the link instead of playing it. This is the guy I fell for. The way he sounds in that is so likable. He's not 48. His cock probably is, though. Yeah, I do think I probably need counseling to get over it. But definitely not silence. Okay. Well, maybe 49. Yeah, maybe. I'm 30. He broke my heart, and then, you know, any girl who gets her heart broken over this and then he just disregards it, that's an asshole. Typical asshole. Except all the girls end up silenced afterwards. Like, no one hears a word about Kel. How come? Like, I still don't know why. But I know I won't be one. I told you what, everything about the Skype thing. That's basically all it is. The only time I would show the hardcore Skype stuff is in court. Should he continue playing games with my head or ruining my internet enjoyment for the hell of it. Nuh-uh. No more respect. Bullshit. And personally, I think it's just my personal opinion. I'm not sure, but I think Kel dumped him or something, because I think he liked Kel all this time. Even afterwards, he accidentally said how he always liked the Aussie girls. And I was like really jealous at that comment, but I'm pretty sure that he was upset about her finding someone else. And I'm not going to go and pretend I found someone else and try and see if that makes him jealous or whatever. Because I just wanted his friendship. And I wanted to know what it was that made him suddenly stop talking. And he made it clear in his last message to me on Skype was that I'm mental. And that's exactly what I wanted to hear. That was the truth. But I'm not gonna pour out my... They didn't like that. I never did any research on Kel, but there's a video of him kissing her, and I didn't even see that until recently. If I had seen that before, I would have never fallen for it. And he banned and blocked me because I'm too mental for him. But it's funny because the very first Skype call with him 2 years ago was where he was watching my creepy videos on YouTube, and he said, "I like freaky girls. Do you like oral sex, Jamie?" And I was like, "Ooh, no." I was listening to the audio of this, and I was like, "Ooh, no, that's disgusting." And he was like, "That sucks." And it's strange how it all ended up where I fell for it, and so I did all kinds of really shitty and stupid things, all for his cock. And I'm glad I didn't do anything in person with him. All he has is a bunch of videos of me begging, basically. Same thing the other way around, not really. But anybody who likes him is probably going to get fucked over, the heart fucked over. But after this broadcast, I'll shut up on that. Just wanted to get that off my chest since I'm not being heard anywhere else, even though I wasn't typing anywhere else. A guinea pig. The kinkiest? Like, what do you mean by kinky? I'm proud I never did anything. That was the sound that you probably heard. The freakiest stuff was him saying that he would like me to do this, and that one day maybe the hope will turn into promise. That was probably the kinkiest thing he said. Hope. 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 He's very, very easy to I mean, he can trick people easily into believing that he's genuine. Heck, I trusted him with everything. I would have given up everything out of this pathetic loyalty I had for him. I mean, I guess that's the type of person I am. I fall into such a thing, but never like this have I fallen into something. But I learn. I've heard of his dad, and I have nothing but respect for his dad. But I haven't talked to him. No personal information or anything. And I also don't like being falsely accused of such things as that. That's one thing that pissed me off. I mean, I may be obsessive, but I'm not a stalker in that way. my sign. I don't know much about hamsters, but I love my guinea pigs. I don't think you do. I don't like... Oh, he's bragging about his news interviews. But he doesn't even go on there, on that site anymore. He spends all his time on JTV. If I posted the proof, it would be in court. And I'm talking because I'm banned from the shout box. That's why I'm saying all this shit. So, it's because of Anthony I'm doing this. The proof is too graphic. It would be in court. And if I just shared it now, it would ruin the case. But there's a blog, Fucking Annoying, that has basically summed up the situation with Kel, and then TT losing his producer's badge and stuff like that. That basically sums up how it all is meant to be, because Anthony will say that it's the internet, you know, it doesn't bother him except for whenever he's the one being exposed. Yeah, no, I read that. He said to me, he got mad at me for saying something in the shout box once. He got mad at me for saying how he's not in it and he doesn't really like anybody. He just is, you know, just basically a slut. He got mad at me and said that was putting what he and I say out there, and that he doesn't like his personal info being put out there. And I'm sitting here laughing at that, because what is the personal info in that? He asked this person to describe a blowjob, like describe it in public in the shout box. This very person was asked to to describe it, and then I mentioned something like that, and he says he doesn't like his personal info getting out there. He says his full name. Every time he did this, it would scare me. He would say everything about himself, his address, his full name. I don't even know if it's his full name or not. I don't know. I just know that he gives out his whole information, and so he's full of shit in his complaint, how that would end our friendship whenever I say, be careful, he's not in it for the heart. If you really like him, he'll break your heart, so to speak. I never typed out what I heard over his broadcast. Never had any desire to see where he lived. However, I have been drawing a picture of his cat. And I was gonna send that to him when I finished, but you know, that's not gonna happen. I'm just using that drawing as practice. It's a cool cat, a pretty cat. But he's not interested. He hates me. So, and he hates me even more now. But I don't care, because he crossed the line when he banned me from the shout box. That was just the epic. That was the worst thing he could ever do. No, it's the fact that he could do so much more with all this stuff I trusted him to have. I mean, I trusted him with so much stuff that, who knows? Alrighty. So I know it was not Mack, Mr. Mack. Mr. Mack would not ban me when I begged him to. So I know it wasn't him. And the timing, it was Anthony who did it. He was the one who banned me from the shout box whenever he blocked me from Skype, because I was mental, and that I needed to leave him alone. Perhaps shut up and stop saying how dirty he is. I tried doing that. I'm IP banned. So I'm sure my whole IP range is banned, and I'm not going to try anymore to chat in there, because once I discovered that, no. The only way I'll chat in there is if Anthony publicly apologizes or something, which he won't do because he's an arrogant asshole. And Haskell got banned there too, I think. Haskell gets banned there all the time, though. Yes, I am IP banned from there, from the shout box, because I tried to post the link to this channel while logged out just to see if it would work, and it didn't show up. So I knew for a fact it was Anthony. See, he can block IP addresses. He blocks Stat Tracker and Google Analytics. He blocks them from even seeing his IP. He does, so he never shows up on the map. So he could be watching all the time. He said he did that so Mac and the blogs can't see when he's there. But I don't really know exactly why. I just think it's kind of not right that you can do that. It bothered me actually quite a bit. He never showed up anywhere. He can be just invisible because he's such a computer geek. No, I don't have that anymore. That every 24 hours. I used to get an IP change frequently if I reset, but no. But that's fine, you know. There's nothing. I mean, I know how to talk to the shout box. I can just talk in the broadcast and say hi or whatever. And Wheek, even though Haskell is obviously banned from there. So. Oh, and hi Jimda and Lol's Boat and Anon7835. If I gave proof, you'd be so freaking busy. Actually, if I gave proof, Anthony would be like, he would probably be like, he would probably hack or something, hack into it and clear out all of it, or get the blog down or something. Anybody who calls me a freak, it's not gonna hurt. I don't care what people say about me. It's not gonna hurt. So, it's fucking Annoying has a good blog on Kel and Anthony, or TT. Anyway, I don't like being silenced, and so. Yeah, he was there the night I got banned. He was there very shortly after I left. And Haskell posted a picture. Anthony showed up and said something like he wouldn't put his cock where Haskell's was or something. So I knew at that time Mack and Anthony were both in the shout box, and I had just left, so that was probably the time whenever I was banned. I hope Mr. Mack is doing fine. I don't mind that I'm banned. In fact, at this time, if I was unbanned, I would probably have nothing to say except for things like what I'm saying out loud. So I just broadcast and talk to the shout box. Better that way. Well, I'm doing good. Hi, Jimothy. And plus, being banned from a shout box, it doesn't keep me from giving good blogging material. Of course, Mr. Mack probably has me blocked, so I won't even bother sending anything to him. But not that I'm in any need to send anything, because Haskell has Kel. Haven't you heard that? I don't think Mr. Mack banned me, by the way. I think it was Anthony. He's a coward. troll. I'm on depression medicine. It's not bipolar. Antidepressants. And I've got epilepsy, so I have to take that, which makes me slur my speech. So those kinds of things interfere with life. But, you know, many things interfere in life. Yeah, no, I took my epilepsy medicine like just before I started the broadcast. So it, you know, as I was talking, it went downhill fast. When I found out I was banned from the shout box, I was like, hell no. And I turned on the computer and got it ready to broadcast. I was going to wait a week or so before I even turned on this broadcast under this name. But, nah. Who said I didn't like Haskell? Who said I liked him? Anthony, when he broadcasts, the best type of person for his channel would be trolls, because he talks nothing but bullshit. So if people go in there and troll, he likes that because that's bullshit talk. So that's probably why. Nah, I wouldn't even bother going into his channel. I tried to, but I hate the music he listens to. And plus, he's so full of himself that it's hard to, I just couldn't watch him or listen. And then what's the point in watching if you can't listen? No, I don't think so. He's all caught up in some blog slayer person. Maybe he's wanting to do some things to that person. I don't know. I have no clue who it is. I don't really care either. But he's all into that. Like, that's a real big deal. The blog slayer. And it's safe to cast now. Yep. He's probably watching UFC if it's on. But what does the hysterics mean? I've got creepy bottom teeth and I like it. Poor Rocco. Bye-bye. Rocco's gone. Did Haskell blog about me? Oh wait, Asian month of June. Haskell likes Asian people. I'm live.
Hey, okay.
I'm not hating Haskell. It's Anthony. You know, I threw away that spit rag today. No particular reason. Just thought I was going to wait a week before broadcasting. Whenever I do lookalikes, I run these lookalike things, my pictures always turn out to look like Asian because of the young looking face, I suppose. Baby face or whatever. Like right now my face is all red. I have no clue, cause I think he likes trolls because it makes him look special if he can bash trolls, I suppose, or women. Anyway, I know people who are talking nice, they're gonna quickly go back to talking shit about me. So that's why I don't. I just wanted to say what I thought of Anthony, since he didn't want me to say hi in the shout box. It was Anthony who banned me. And I'm sure he told Mr. Mack all kinds of things. Well, does Anthony have proof of me being mental, or whatever reason Anthony had for banning me from the shout box? He obviously told Max something. Maybe he could prove that. Whatever Anthony used as an excuse. Mac wouldn't ban me when I begged him to a couple of weeks ago. So I know he didn't do it. And I'm pretty sure he is too nice to really do that. Unless someone's breaking the rules. So I have nothing against Mr. Mack, and I know it was Anthony who did it. But I have every kind of proof. I mean, so much proof that I would only put it in court because it's so much proof. Yeah, I'm sure he fooled Brandy Rose too. He probably told her all kinds of things, and I don't know what his full name is. But his JTV names are Telemarketer Torture, The Antonio Show, The Computer Store. Yeah. What did he do now? You'll have to watch my past broadcast whenever I close it. I mean, whenever I turn it off. Make some clips and all that stuff too, because I'm not going to bother clipping it. And if you make clips, they won't go away. Should I delete my account, which I tend to do a lot. So whatever way you want to do it. Do I have them turned off? Well, this is my very first broadcast actually, and I honestly, it says no past broadcasts yet, so it will work once I turned it off. Yeah, he wanted to shut me up, obviously. And I didn't break any rules. Didn't even have the chance to. I was given the silent treatment until I realized that they weren't noticing it, 'cause, you know, they weren't seeing me whenever I was testing to see if I was banned or not. I have nothing but proof. Oh yeah, I know. He denies everything. I mean, gosh, he denies everything. And he freaks over the smallest thing. I'll hold my evidence in lock and key like he does all the sluts that he's been with. Except